Hello and welcome to Hank Games Without Hank. My name is John Green. Here we are back in the N-Power Championship, the league below the Premier League, where we hope to get by the end of the season. So, you may remember that last time I was talking about a conversation I had with Bald John Green after his stunning transfer from Barcelona, one of the biggest clubs in the world, to AFC Wimbledon, a team in League Two. Now, AFC Wimbledon, I've talked about this before, and I guess maybe this is why Bald John Green got interested in the first place. He heard me talking about them. AFC Wimbledon is a very interesting team in real life because they are one of the only teams in the Football League that is owned not by some rich person, but by their fans. It's a very sad story, and it goes like this. There was a team in Wimbledon. In fact, they once won the FA Cup in a miracle victory against my beloved Liverpool in, I think, 1988. And this team in Wimbledon was, they were in, I think they were probably in the second or third tier at the time of English football. They had a few years in the first flight, the top flight, but it was a small. Look, it's a small town. It was a small team. That's just like Swindon. And then one day, the owner of the team decided that he wanted to move the team away from Wimbledon to Milton Keynes and call the team MK Dons, and that's what he did. And their stadium was destroyed, and all of their history and their trophies were moved to Milton Keynes, and suddenly they didn't have a team in their city. This kind of thing happens in American professional sports, but American professional sports are also very different because there is no league system and there's no promotion and relegation system. So it's a very different thing to take your team away from you, because you aren't just in the minds of soccer fans, and I think they're mostly right about this, they are not just, they're not just fans. They are essentially sort of owners of the club. They are the club. And it was devastating to the people of Wimbledon when this happened. And so what they did was they decided to start their own new team. And instead of having it be owned by a rich person like all the other teams in professional soccer, they decided that it was going to be owned by the people who cared about the team. Every single supporter of AFC Wimbledon owns one share of the team and cannot buy more. What? You just knocked me over! I was clearly knocked over! Zigic, you're a dirty, dirty boy. God, I suck at this game. Oh, I'm getting to the part where Bald John Green, other John Green, and I have a screaming argument inside of a Swindon cafe, but hold on. So AFC Wimbledon is a really interesting team because they are actually owned by their fans. This means that there are no rich people to fund the purchase of players and stuff. So AFC Wimbledon had to start not where the team that they were started out in, like League Two or whatever, or League One. Instead, they had to start in like the 9th tier of professional English soccer as a semi-professional team. And over the next 10 or 12 years, they got promoted, if I recall correctly, 7 times, and they are now playing in League Two. They are one of the worst teams, traditionally, in the last couple of years in League Two. But they're a fully professional team. They're a team that you can play with in FIFA, which, is a miracle. I mean, to have gone from being, having your team basically stolen away from you. Hey! It's John Green! He's a fish. Now, what happened, Meredith, is that, look, he did the fish. I don't know how to do that celebration, but I love it. I don't know what I just did. I just hit random buttons, and sometimes celebrations happen, sometimes they don't. I'm not very good at this game. So, yeah, AFC Wimbledon, I mean, in some ways, it's hard for them to become really successful. For one thing, their stadium was destroyed. It was sold out from under them and destroyed when the team moved. So they have to play away from Wimbledon in a small stadium that doesn't have much capacity, so it's difficult for them to get revenue. The fact that they are still in the Football League is something of a miracle, and it speaks to the fact that teams that are owned by supporters, there's a heart to them that is just really, really special. So Ball John Green was moved by this story. Meredith, what I'm going to try to do is shoot, because that always works. All right, I'm going to try to shoot. I don't know what I just did. I was just trying to shoot. Oh, that was the closest I've ever been, for sure. And Ball John Green moved to AFC Wimbledon, taking a massive, massive pay cut because he realized that he did not want to be playing at Barcelona. He wanted to be playing with the team that he loved and cared about, and he thought he could help. And I think, look, it's a beautiful story. However, that team shouldn't be, in my opinion, it shouldn't be AFC Wimbledon. It should be Swindon. And when I told Ball John Green this, other John Green was at the cafe with me, and Ball John Green was like, well, I respect you a lot, coach, and you've done a lot for my career, and I don't deny any of that, but at the same time, you have to admit that you've sort of lost your mind with your obsession with gingers and your, oh, that was a handball, and your constant starting of players who are clearly inferior because you say that they have quote-unquote heart when in fact they don't display any heart at all. And you know, you pick people because of their nicknames and not because of the quality of their play, and you don't and that he felt like that wasn't the Swindon that he fell in love with. It wasn't the Swindon that he got in the TARDIS to try to save in FIFA 13, and that he was very disappointed in that, and he was pretty upfront about it. And I told him that he was full of crap, because I think he is. You know, his whole thing about how you can't repeat the past, and that, you know, you have to build as bright a future as you can for yourself, and change is important. No, change is stupid, and I hate it, and it's that simple. And, you know, I turned to other John Green, who is, you know, a loyal soldier for Swindon and always has been. Oh, my God, that was a terrible, terrible, terrible trap by James Collins. Oh, but he's a ginger, so I can't abandon him. And other John Green was like, listen, I think it's ridiculous. Actually, coach, since you asked, I think it's ridiculous when you start players just because of the color of their hair, and then you say that they have heart. Like, he was like, you know, there's redheaded players who have heart, like Ginger Rampage, and then there's some who don't, and you got to consider all the possibilities. Get in the net! Oh, that's disappointing, Wordsworth. Such a good poet, but not the best finisher. And it just, I mean, it really did escalate into quite an argument. And the interesting thing about it to me is that other John Green is just the type of person who really doesn't say anything until and unless you ask. And so I figured that he was happy, you know, that he wanted to be at Swindon forever. And the thought that, like, he is also kind of unhappy, he is also thinking about leaving. I mean, it's just, what would we do? What, you know, all I'm trying to do is prevent change, but it seems like in trying to prevent this change, what's actually happening is like inevitable change. It's infuriating. It was just a completely baffling situation. Fahey, he used to be a Swoodilypooper. It's just a completely, we should have gotten him in the transfer window. That would have solved all of our problems. It's just a completely baffling situation, and like, I don't know. I'm at a loss. Like, I don't know anymore. I mean, and we are like, look, we're like 6th in the championship. We got a lot of 1-1 draws. It's the new Swoodilypooper score, it seems like. You know, we should be sort of running away with this competition. We should be like, you know, easily in a promotion spot. But oh, come on, that was just cheap. But instead, you know, here we are, and it's just a very frustrating situation. So, I mean, I guess that's the oh boy, everybody's really tired. That's part of my problem. I guess that's the update, but I essentially don't know what to do. I mean, what this game needs, Meredith, I know you've heard me say this before, but it's true, is some cocks. All right, that's going to make all the difference. Here we go. So, how long? Yep, you're coming off. I like it. Great hair, though. Yeah, it's sculpted. So, you know, I'm trying to preserve the past. I'm trying to preserve a legacy and preserve tradition, and you know, and on some level it's impossible because the change keeps coming. It just keeps, it just never goes away. And I'm really struggling. That's what it comes down to. I'm really, really struggling to understand how I should move forward in my career as the manager. As a professional manager. The other thing is that I got all these offers for new jobs coming in. PSV Eindhoven just gave me, oh God, anything but this. Okay, just gave me a job offer, and I don't know. I mean, if these people don't appreciate what I'm doing, and if all the supporters are chanting, "We want points, not gingers," I don't know. I don't know anymore. Who am I to say? Maybe I am crazy. Maybe you can't know. I was going to say maybe you can't recreate the past, but of course you can. All human life, oh God. Whew. Everything worked out better than expected. Of course you can recreate the past. Well, it's only a point for the Swindon Town Swoodilypoopers, but it's a vital point as we continue, hopefully, our path to the Premier League. Thank you for watching. Best wishes.